Our next resource person is Mrs. Pradnya Korlekar, Assistant Professor in the Department of Pharmacology, Westcop. She holds a total of 11.5 years of academic and industrial experience. She has been the recipient of the Best Teacher 2020 and Most Resourceful Person Award 2021 at Westcop. She has received grants from University of Mumbai and has also worked on industrial projects. She won the first prize at state level in the Teachers Pursuing PhD category at the Avishkar Research Convention 1920. This, of course, is just one of the many accomplishments she has to her credit. Additionally, she has worked as the Avishkar Convention Coordinator appointed by the University of Mumbai and also as the AICTE, CII and NIRF Coordinator for Westcop. Over to you, Madam.
Thank you, Shaina, for those very kind words of yours. I'm sharing my screen. Just let me know whether my screen is visible and I'm audible. Is my screen visible?
Yes, Madam, it's visible.
Has the PowerPoint started?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Thanks a lot. So today I am going to speak on ranking enhancement measures after Chitlangi sir has given a very, very elaborative session on NIRF and it's, some of the key points regarding NIRF. I am very, whatever is my experience as a AICTE CII coordinator and NIRF coordinator, I am going to utilize that and I'm going to give you some checklist and a mind map to augment industry institute relationship. So let me go ahead. Overview of the session. I'll be talking about ranking versus accreditation, NIRF versus AICTE CII, checklist for better ranking position, which a NIRF coordinator can have or AICTE CII coordinator can have, and mind map to augment industry institute interaction. So starting with ranking versus accreditation. Students are also participants of this seminar. There are many faculties and some of the management representatives. We always hear that NBA accredited, NAC accredited, ranked this much in NIRF, AICTE CII, platinum band. So what is the difference between ranking and accreditation? Accreditation is to determine whether the applicable and recognized standards are met. So NBA, NAC, they give us certain standards and institutions try to adhere to those standards. Whereas ranking is very much a comparison business, wherein ranking can be said as an annual report card to the nation, because we are talking about national ranking bodies, and to the stakeholders on what has been done by the institute in the last 1 year on the given performance. So ranking is a yearly reflection of your performance. Whereas accreditation is done by various agencies on different frequencies. When you are participating for any ranking, there is a comparison done, and in the comparison of the institutions like you, where do you exactly stand? What is your rank? That is defined. Whereas accreditation, there is no comparison. It is kind of quality assurance, quality check and quality assurance. So when you talk about ranking, is ranking important? Is participating in AICTE CII or NIRF ranking is important? Yes, because you can YouTube also, you can check. There are many videos which guide students why NIRF is important. What is NIRF? Because nowadays, all your stakeholders do look at your ranking position. Students do look at it while taking admission. Employers, while giving employment to your students, or if they are planning to launch some industry project, to whom will they collaborate? Of course, they will go with someone who is better ranked. And your peer institutions for academic collaborations, for any guidance or any services offered. So that is the major difference between ranking and accreditation. So with this key that yes, ranking has become a keyword, let us go ahead and let us see two important ranking bodies, national ranking bodies that we always look out for. So NIRF and AICTE CII. Whether NIRF and AICTE CII are same, or do they judge institutions on different parameters? As Chitlangi sir also has correctly said, NIRF judges the institution on holistic, many parameters, and AICTE CII is majorly related to industry participation overall. So basically, if we have to compare NIRF and AICTE CII, NIRF was launched in 2015. AICTE CII is there since 2012. Category-wise ranking is provided by NIRF. So if you participate in NIRF ranking framework, National Institutional Ranking Framework, you will receive exact rank. That is, WESCOP stands 63rd amongst pharmacy institutions across India. Whereas AICTE CII gives you rating. So basically, institutions which score in a particular range, they are placed in a specific band. The bands are platinum, gold, silver, likewise. Platinum being the highest. Of course, the institution which scores the highest receives best education institute, which is linked with industry award. NIRF evaluates overall performance, graduate outcomes, student faculty ratio, all those parameters, whereas industry specific activities are rated under AICTE CII. So this is a major, these are major points we should consider while applying to NIRF and AICTE CII. Going ahead, let me give you a checklist to improve NIRF ranking. This is based upon whatever work I have done while submitting the data or after the results are out. Yes? Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, you are audible.
So now moving to the checklist to improve NIRF ranking. So there are 4 points before you publish. So every faculty should check out few points or there are some checkpoints that you need to refer before you try to publish your work anywhere. I'm going to do that. When arranging the webinar or seminar, so it is responsibility of management and activity coordinator to check out certain points. We will see which are those. Submission of financial data, which is a very, very important parameter, which is verified by NIRF many times. So the account department and NIRF coordinators have to be very careful regarding some points. We will see that. And lastly, when you recruit your faculty, of course, this will be taken care by management. There are certain points which have to be covered. One by one, we will see. The first point, before you publish, select the journal very carefully. Chitlange sir has already told that UGC journal list, Scopus journal list, and Web of Science journal list. Please check that. And there is one more thing in the market, that is cloned journals. Journals which have similar nomenclature to the established journals, and then you end up publishing your work in some substandard journal. Where do I get it? So this is a link to UGC Care website. Is the website page visible? Shaina, can you tell me?
Yes,
or anyone?
yes.
Yeah. So this is a UGC website, and on UGC website there is UGC Care List Group 1 and UGC Care List Group 2. As a faculty or as a researcher, always comes to my mind, I have to check 3 different lists. So, and then if my journal is Web of Science listed, whether UGC will consider that. Yes. So basically, this is one point or what you can say location where you can find UGC Care journals. You can just click on the search, put the name of the journal, and you will know whether it is listed under UGC Care or not. Then this is Science Citation Index Expanded. So this gives you, I have clicked there.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yeah.
Ma'am, the website has not opened, only the link is visible.
Okay, the website is not open. Okay, I will share my entire screen. Is my screen visible now?
Yes, ma'am. Now it is visible.
Yes, ma'am. Now it is visible.
So upon clicking the link, this website opened. It has got UGC Care List Group 1 and UGC Care List Group 2. Under UGC Care List Group 1, you will find the journals. You can check whether the journal is listed under UGC Care or not. Now regarding Web of Science listing, so there is Science Citation Index Expanded. If you click there, this particular page is open. And then here also you can check whether the journal is listed under Science, Web of Science. there is another link on the same website, which is Scopus source list, which will give you idea about Scopus listing. Apart from this, if you go on the home page of University Grant Commission's website, the same website, here you will find list of cloned journals. So if I click on group 1, just I'll show you one example. This is a official or journal which is included in the UGC care list. The title is ABRU, and this is a clone journal, that is ABRU journal. So you can find this data easily on this website. Going back to the presentation, I hope the presentation is visible.
Yes, ma'am.
Presentation is visible.
Yes. Next point, next checkpoint before you publish. So you have selected your journal. Can you collaborate? Now this starts when you start your research work, of course. So collaborative publications or patents fetch more marks whenever ranking is considered. So when you have any industrial project coming in or any academic collaboration coming in, can one of the outcome clearly specified as publication or patent? It will give you more marks under AICTE CII as well as NIRF. Next is keep the name of your institute uniform in all the publications. Now, all of you must be knowing NIRF does not ask list of publication from you. They take it from third-party applications. Now, these third-party applications will search for institution name. Many times in our publications, we use different abbreviations of the institutions. And that is how we can, the committee or NIRF committee or the third-party vendor who is gathering the data for NIRF, they may miss upon some of the publications. So as an institution, you should have a policy and you should decide how are you going to put the name of your institution. So these are checkpoints before you publish. When arranging the webinar or seminar, selection of the topic is very crucial when you're arranging a webinar or seminar. Of course, we all know arranging webinar and seminar is very important data point, because we submit all this data to various ranking and accreditation bodies. But how do I select the topic? How it will add more value? So first, check the MOM of Industrial Advisory Board and Departmental Advisory Board meetings, because you have industrial, representation there, and your industrial advisors usually tell you which is the gap area or which is the area where industry want to train your students. This helps in two parameters. One is governance, which asks about participation of industry partners or industrial representation on your management. Second criteria is curriculum change. So these two criteria, this will help if your topic is selected based on this. Align your topic with government's vision and policy so that you will fetch more participation. Check the gap analysis of stakeholder survey. As a part of NBA and NAC, we take gap analysis from various stakeholders, including students, parents, teachers, and industry persons, as well alumni. There are certain points which come up and you can select the topic on this gap analysis also. Very importantly, check the curriculum gaps. For example, artificial intelligence is not touched upon in our syllabus and it is a buzzword now. So whether you can have a seminar or webinar on this theme, because it will add more value to students going ahead. All this will lead to a very important outcome, that is curriculum enrichment. It is not only important for NIRF, AICTE, CII, which are ranking bodies, but it is also important for NAC and NBA. Encourage the external participation. Very, very important. Try to make your seminar or webinar national, if possible international, because it will help you in outreach. It will help you in branding your institution. Also, expenditure on such webinars or seminars where external participation is involved, nearly 20% participants should be external. Okay, it will help. Third checkpoint is submission of financial data. This is very crucial, and sometimes it does confuse us whether I should submit the data of financial year or academic year. So basically, while submitting the financial data, give figures as received and not sanctioned. If 26 lakhs are sanctioned under some grant, but you receive only 24 lakhs, put 24 lakhs. Data of financial year should be given and not the academic year when you are submitting finance related data. One caution, expenditure on seminar or webinar where only internal participation is there may not be considered under expenditure. And one tip for all NIRF and AICTE-CII coordinators, ranking coordinators, check the data yourself, sit with account department and keep the proofs ready. Because in the data verification stage, you hardly get 1 or 2 days when a query comes from NIRF, you hardly get 1 or 2 days to submit your data with the proofs. Going to the next point, when you recruit. Now, this is of course pertaining more to the management. Some takeaway points are faculty student ratio, minimum 1:15. 1:15 ratio fetches you maximum marks. If your ratio goes above 1:50, you will get 0 marks under this criteria. Number of PhD faculties, Chitlange sir has already stated, is very important. Faculties having mixed experience of all the experience bands below 8 years, 8 to 15 years, and above that in 1:1 ratio fetches you full marks. Some key points after the checkout points are done. Placement versus higher education, which will fetch more marks. So basically, as Chitlange sir has also said, 100% students who are eligible for placement or higher education should be placed somewhere. They can be entrepreneurs also. That gives you 100% marks in the criteria. Lesser the dropouts, more the marks. Effective teaching learning can ensure that there are minimum dropouts because there are marks which are connected to graduates completing the course in the stipulated time. So if you have dropouts, your marks will go on reducing. ATKT is not a problem. Number of PhDs who are not in-house faculty is only considered when you are submitting PhD student data. So having full-time PhD students is extremely important. This is criteria 1 of NIRF. Granted patent have double weightage than published patent. Sir has already spoken about it. Median salary is considered. So similar salary range should be there for all the students. It should not happen some student is getting a package which is very low and some student is getting a package which is very high. It will help you if the mean is calculated, but median will not help you here. Percentage students from other states and countries. We always say it is difficult to attain, but yes, it has got very less weightage. It is part of criteria for NIRF. So you can concentrate on achievable parameters. Branding amongst the peer institutions, updated website, interaction with outside world, interaction with your peers is very, very important. That helps to improve your perception. Keep the proofs ready. I'm again repeating it, but it is extremely, extremely, extremely important for data verification stage. Going ahead, so we are done with the checkpoints. We are done with the key points. Going ahead, how to encourage the industry institute interaction, maybe in 4 or 5 minutes, not more than that. So collaboration is the key. We all know, Madam has spoken about it. Anita Madam has spoken about it. Chitlange sir has spoken about it. It has to be a two-way interaction. Principal Madam's innovation ecosystem. It is nothing but this two-way interaction. So which are the levels of participation when you talk about institution, educational institution? Who all should be participants in the industry institute interaction? Management, faculty, and students. So how to do this? How to achieve? How to augment industry institute interaction? Let us see quickly. Let me give you one mind map to augment industrial involvement. So efforts to augment industrial interaction. First, it may start at governance level. At governance level, the management can have policies which are framed to encourage industry institute interaction. Faculties which are participating or which are doing some industrial projects, they can be encouraged by giving certain awards, certain recognitions, like that. Involvement of industry in the governance. Of course, representation of industry on various management bodies is important. MOUs, these should not be sleeping MOUs. These should be active MOUs which have active, clauses and which benefit the students, benefit the institute, benefit the faculty members and intern industry also. So you can work on that. Infrastructure and services. It is very, very important. Infrastructure and services are again a two-way interaction. Develop your infrastructure with the help of industry as a joint center, your laboratories, or some of the equipments can be donated by industries. Offer services to industries. Develop infrastructure and you can offer the services to industry, not only industry, your academic peers also. What faculty's role would be or how faculty would be playing a role. So training to industry can be done by faculty with the help of EDP. Maybe executive development programs can be launched. Lectures can be delivered by faculty. Joint publications. As I said, one of the outcome of your industrial collaboration can be joint publication. Training by industry. Invite industrial person to deliver lectures to faculty. Send your faculty for industrial visits. Send your faculty to FDP, workshop, conferences, where industry partners are speakers or eminent educationists are speakers. So faculty also can keep an eye, and the institute should encourage faculty, give permission to attend such sessions. Curriculum. When we talk about curriculum enrichment should come via industry-institute interaction. Invite industry to campus to deliver seminars, to deliver guest lectures, to deliver add-on courses. Of course, to provide certain ideas also, but that will be part of governance. Send students to industry, industrial visits, industrial training, internships. Apart from that, participation of the students in some industrial projects, direct participation in some live industrial projects will give students good exposure, not only from ranking point of view, but from students' benefit point of view also. And lastly, placement and self-employment. Make your students capable so that when they graduate, either they are very courageous and take up entrepreneurship, go for self-employment, or they are placed in very good companies via your active placement cell, or they go for higher studies in premier institutes or higher education institutes. So this mind map I suggest you can refer for having better industry institute interaction at various levels. These levels are in alignment with AICTE CII. So with this, I would like to end my session. I acknowledge management of WestCorp. I acknowledge Dr. Supriya Shidaye for giving me this opportunity. I acknowledge IQAC team. I acknowledge Dr. Anand Chintakrindi, who is my colleague and who works with me for AICTE CII and NIRF data for giving me very important inputs. Thank you all. I hope I have made some difference in this domain. Thank you.
Thank you, Pradnya madam. You have truly made a difference. Through your talk, we really understood how an institute can smartly improve their rankings and accreditations. Participants, please note that the feedback form link has been provided in the chat box and shall be active till 10 p.m. today. Participants filling the feedback form will receive e-certificates. Questions for Dr. Chitlange sir from the chat box have been noted. We will communicate with sir and convey the answers via mail. There has been one question in the chat box for Shidaye madam. It is from Dr. Bari, the principal of HR Patel Institute of Pharmaceutical Education and Research, Shirpur. Welcome, sir. The question is, how will NEP affect pharmacy profession specifically? If one talks about syllabus implemented by PCI, how can one design a syllabus as per NEP guidelines?
Sir, thank you for your question. You may be aware that Pharmacy Council of India is right now in the process of revising the syllabus. So we are expecting that some kind of degree of freedom will be given to individual university to bring about the flexibility, number one. Number two, NEP is also talking about the national level regulatory agencies. So they may be now going to merge all these regulatory agencies into one, under one umbrella, which can be of Higher Education Commission kind of structure. So soon this differentiation may get vanished and we can have freedom for our curriculum development. But presently, Pharmacy Council of India may give us some autonomy, some flexibility for some part of the syllabus, which we can leverage on and make our syllabus more industry relevant. And also PCI is inviting the suggestions over the existing syllabus. We as a part of University of Mumbai today itself addressed this particular request and gave a lot of suggestions for BPharm and MPharm syllabus. So I will request every university, every institute to do so as early as possible, so that whatever innovations we are thinking of would be part of our syllabus. Thank you. I hope I answered your question, sir.
Yes, thank you, madam. Actually, in our North Maharashtra University, we have conducted workshop before 2 years. We have sent suggestion to the PCI, but till the date it has not been implemented. And now just recently I came to know Dr. Batu University is implementing artificial intelligence in the pharmacy course also. And another course, another subject, that is Constitution of India. Has it been implemented in your university?
No, sir, it is not yet implemented. So, sir, at least let us give a representation about flexibility that should be for the university, and we can enjoy that flexibility and become innovative and become unique in our syllabus. That is what we can do unanimous.
Because as per your talk, we should change very fast, but that things are not happening. That's why when things will happen and implement and execution, that is another problem. We talk a lot.
The private university itself is driven by autonomy in curriculum.
Yeah, private university.
Definitely government would intervene and definitely things would change. I am very hopeful about it.
Yeah. Thank you, madam. Thank you.
Your
for your beautiful
was very
session.
Valid. Thank you, sir. Very valid question.
Okay, thank you, sir, for your question. We will now conclude the session with the vote of thanks given by Mrs. Ashwini Vani, Assistant Professor Westcop and Webinar Coordinator for today. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you very much, Shaina. Good evening, everyone. I'm very privileged to present the vote of thanks for today's webinar. First of all, I would like to thank our keynote speaker for today's webinar, Dr. Chitlange sir, for accepting our invitation and enlightening us with his knowledge, vast experience on the actual NIRF ranking. And hence I would like to really thank sir for his presence in today's webinar. Then I would like to specially thank all our dear speakers, Dr. Supriya Shidaya madam, Dr. Anita Aire, Mrs. Pradnya Korlekar, for their very impressive talk and specially highlighting the significance of research, innovation, and ranking framework in higher education institutes. I sincerely express my gratitude towards our management, our founder trustee, Shri B.L. Bulani sir, and coordinator Jarna Das madam for their constant support and motivation for organizing such a webinars. I'm also grateful to our IQAC coordinator, Dr. Rajeshri Hirlekar madam, for guiding us for this event. I'm extremely thankful to my colleague and webinar coordinator, Mrs. Sonali Munch, for planning and executing all the webinar related activities very efficiently. Special thanks to Mr. Pratik Barve sir for helping us in the management of this event. Finally, the success of any event depends on the participating delegates, and I wish to express my deepest sense of appreciation to all the participants for their patient listening. Thank you one and all. Over to you, Shaina, for the last few announcements.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much for a wonderful vote of thanks. So we can conclude the session now. Do remember to follow us on social media handles. Westcop is always bustling with events and activities and updates just like today. So we would love for you to keep in touch with us through our social media, which is posted in the chat section. Thank you everyone for attending. The feedback link has been posted in the chat box as well. It is active till 10 p.m. today only. you can fill it and receive e-certificates. Thank
I
you.
would like to just add one thing. I could see one request about the presentation. So what we would do is we would put this entire webinar on our YouTube, and you can watch through our YouTube channel of ES College of Pharmacy. I hope that would serve your request. Thank you. Thank you, one and all. Bye-bye.
Thank you all. Thank you all for your kind words in the chat box.
Thank you all.
Thank you all. Thank you very much. Bye.
Thank you, madam.